Hello and welcome to Simplify with Louise. This week I'm working on a Macrame DIY plant hanger, just using items that I have in my home. So let's get started. Here is the plant that I'm going to make the Macrame plant hanger for. This plant's called Devil's Ivy. It's a very vigorous growing plant, and as you can see, it's outgrowing its space here on this cupboard. I did have it in another location in my house, but it also outgrew that space. It's growing along the floor there. So I'm going to make the Macrame plant hanger for it and hang it from the ceiling in my study makeover. So here are the things that we need to make the Macrame plant hanger today. Got my incredibly curly tape measure, scissors, sticky tape and some string. I'm not going to use macrame cord as I don't have any here. I like to use what I have and keep it really simple. Okay, to start we're going to measure 150 centimetres of string. This is going to be a large plant holder, just because that plant's probably going to grow fairly quickly, and I can use the same plant holder when I change the pot down the track. So we've got 150 centimetres, and I'll just take that point and just fold it over. And we're going to make 16 lengths of 150 centimetres. Now, once you've got your 16 lengths of 150 centimetres, just going to cut that off. So I've just folded it backwards and forwards until we've got 16. I'm just going to cut that off the bottom. I'm just going to take the top section that doesn't have the ends, the cut ends in it, so the one with just the loops, and just going to tie a knot around itself with all of those ends in. So that will be the part that we hang the plant up with. Just pull it firmly, and so be able to hang it through all of those loops. Like that. Okay, so I've just fastened the loop of the plant holder to the table so that we can have some tension to tie the knots. Just going to take the other end now, and I'm just going to cut those ends that are joined in a loop so that they're all free. So now I've just divided the strings into 4 groups of 4 strings. So that we can start making the knots. So now I'm just going to measure down from the top knot, 50 centimetres. Just mark that with my finger, and I'm just going to tie a knot in those 4 strings. Just pull it firmly. So we have 1 knot. Just move on to the next section, doing the same thing. Mark it 50 centimetres and tie a knot. And just move on and do the next 2 as well. Okay, now to complete the next set of knots, we're going to split these 4 strings into groups of 2, just putting the outside string to the side. Split these into a group of 2 and so on. And the outside ones once again. Just putting the furthest ones to the side. Okay, so now we're going to take the 2 here, discarding the outside one. So 2 from this side and 2 from this side, and we're going to measure down from those knots 10 centimetres. Just mark that with my finger, and we're going to tie those ones together. You can, of course, do whatever lengths that you want. I just like to have a bit of a pattern, I think. So by putting the knots closer together, you get a bit more pattern of that crisscross look. So we moved on to the next 2, just 2 from each side, 10 centimetres down, just tying another knot. Like that. You can plait the top section if you want to. Obviously with 4 strings you would need to do like a fishbone plait, or you would need to adjust the number of strings so that you could have an equivalent amount to plait. I decided just to leave it plain, so I just prefer it plain and simple. So I'm going to take 2 from this side now, and 2 from this side, measure 10 centimetres down. Mark with my finger and just tie those in a knot. Don't have to be extremely accurate, as once it's on the plant it looks to be in the right place anyway, so I'm told. Okay, so now we have a little bit of a pattern forming there. And so now we're going to take those 2 outside ones, so I'll make it into a circle and join those 2 together. Just measure down again. 10 centimetres. And tie another knot. This string is a little bit furry. You could probably use wool, different kinds of string, cotton string, whatever you like. I kind of like this look, a little bit raw. Okay, so now we're going to make the same pattern again. We're going to divide again into 2s. Just putting the outside ones, or 2 of the outside ones, to the side. Okay, so now once again I'm going to take these 2, leaving that outside one, measure down. I'm going to do 10 centimetres again. You could make it a different length. Tie a knot. So I had a look at Pinterest, different ideas, and sort of thought I just wanted something really simple, easy, given it's my first attempt. And so that's where I got the ideas from, that I could use the string instead of the macrame cord, and that I just liked the knot pattern. Okay, so that's kind of forming a bit of a lattice kind of pattern. And once again, grabbing one set of 2 from the outside and a set of 2 from the one next to it. I'm just going to measure down 10 centimetres again. Mark it with my finger and tie a knot. So you can see we're getting to the end, it's getting short now. Okay. So now you can see it's quite extensive now. There we go. Looks a bit of a jumble. Let's hope it looks okay on the plant. So just to finish that off, I'm just going to pull the ends down, straighten it out a little bit. I'm going to measure down another 10 centimetres with all of the string together, all the ends together. Measure down 10 centimetres. And I'm just going to tie a final knot with all of those strings. Just make sure you get them all. Just push it up towards my fingers. Give it a good pull to get it nice and tight. There we go. So that will be the section that sits underneath the pot. I've decided to repot my devil's ivy plant into a large pot. I'm going to use this one. This plant's not very happy in it anyway, and I'm going to paint it white. Okay, so I'm just going to put some paint on this pot. So just a little tip for you, if you have something that you've painted, you can't really sit down, you can put it on a toilet roll holder or paper towel holder so that it dries without touching the outside, and just let it balance there to dry. Also, if you're going to reuse your brush, you can just wrap it in some plastic. Okay, so I'm just going to add another coat of paint to the pot. This is the second coat. This is our third coat of paint and final coat, just to get a bit more coverage on the pot. Okay, so I'm just going to take the plastic bag out very carefully, just lifting out the edge. And hopefully the pot will stay clean on the outside. Just pulling it straight up. Out of the soil. Just lift the plant at the front. Just fold that edge over then to the outside. And our pot is clean. Here's the completed macrame plant hanger with the devil ivy plant in its newly painted white pot. It came up pretty well, pretty happy with it. Thank you for watching my video, and I'll see you next week for another DIY project, which will be part of my study makeover in a couple of weeks.